Principal, Brother Hector Pinto, Brother Sato D'Souza, and our esteemed Chief Guest, Dr. Pradeep Mehta, ICSC 1990, Sister Manjusha, Principal at St. Mary's Convent, and Mr. Paul, ISC 1972 batch, and all the teachers. And welcome all delegates to the maiden edition of St. Joseph's College, Model United Nations. I am Vinayak Nath, the technical advisor for this event. When attending a Model United Nations, the first question which arises in our minds is, what is Model United Nations? To understand that, first, we need to know everything about the United Nations itself. After the Second World War, on 24th October 1945, the United Nations, an intergovernmental organization with the purpose of establishing and maintaining world peace, was established. The precise aim of the United Nations was, quote, maintaining international peace and security, developing friendly relations among nations and promoting progress, better living standards, and human rights, unquote. In the United Nations, representatives of various nations debate and come up with solutions for various real-world problems. Model United Nations is a scholastic simulation of the actual United Nations, where delegates act as representatives of various nations. Model United Nations helps develop skills such as public speaking, researching, and coming up with inventive ways to solve the burning problems in our world today. We are the youth of this world, and it is our duty to assure that this world is a better place than it was yesterday. But today, the world is in crisis. Whether it be the humanitarian crisis in Ukraine or the war in Afghanistan, we are far from the UN's goal of world peace. Through this conference today, we hope to train the youth to deal with some of the problems which most affect our world. Now, I would like to introduce you all to the Secretariat for our MUN. The Secretary General, Sjc Mun, the Director General, Krishna Rastogi, the Deputy Secretary General, Krishna, the Deputy Director General, Swapnil Pant, the Head of Public Relations, Maulik Sanwar, the Charge d'Affaires, Maulik Adhikari, and our Chief Advisor, Sjc Mun. The committees and agendas for our MUN are as follows. United Nations Human Rights Council, with the agenda, deliberation upon the human rights abuses and violations in the Middle East with special emphasis on ethnic cleansing. United Nations Development Program for classes 6 to 8, with the agenda, strategy for youth and adult literacy with special emphasis on SDG 4. All India political parties meet, with the agenda, rise of communalism in recent years with special emphasis on the Citizenship Amendment Act and the role of media. United Nations General Assembly, Disarmament and International Security Committee, with the agenda, deliberation on threats to world peace and security in Russia-Ukraine conflict. United Nations Commission on the Status of Women, with the agenda, combating barriers to gender equality with special emphasis on political and economic opportunities. And the international press, with the task of journalism and photography. The itinerary for both the days of the conference have been provided to you in your delegate kits.
I would like to introduce our chief guest, Dr. Pradeep Mehta. Dr. Pradeep Mehta holds a doctorate degree in forestry and has done a short-term management course from Maastricht School of Management, the Netherlands. He was a boxer and a table tennis player in Sen. He was undefeated Mount champion from 1992 to 1997. He has played 3 North Zone Table Tennis Inter-Universities tournaments. He has over 2 decades of experience in the development sector and has worked on a range of environmental and social issues as a part of his professional stints with INGOs and bilateral agencies, including German Development Cooperation, Earthwatch Institute, Clean Air Asia, Appropriate Technology, and to name a few. At present, he is heading UAT Uttarakhand. He has received NUFFIC Fellowship from Netherlands and FAO Fellowships. He is a member of various IUCN Commission and is also South Asia representative of IUCN World Commission of Protected Areas Mountain Specialist with Group Committee. He is also the recipient of Holger's Hall of Fame Award from the Alfred Nobel Museum for the Best Sustainable Report 2021 published by FAO. Now I would like to invite our chief guest, Dr. Pradeep Mehta, to please light the lamp. Now I would request our principal sir, Brother Hector Pinto. I would request now Mr. Rakesh Bhatt to present the bouquets to our chief guest. Now, Saraswati Vandana, a mesmerizing dance, will be presented by Smriti and Srishti.
Goddess of knowledge, music, art, wisdom and nature, represents the free flow of wisdom and consciousness. Students of St. Joseph's College pay tribute to the goddess with a beautiful performance on Saraswati Vandana, Ma Saraswati Sharde.
lost within this darkness, but then I found her, I found you. Georgia, the way that I should love her. Once again you fell out, caught you. I never let you go again like I did. Oh, I used to say I would never fall in love again until I found her. I said I would never fall unless it's you I fall into. I was lost within the darkness, but then I found her. I found you. Never fall in love again until I found her. I said I would never fall unless it's you I fall into. I was lost within the darkness, but then I found her. I found you. ना दस्तकियाँ ये तेरे दिल की आवाज़ धड़कने क्यों ज़ोर से जो तुझको अब सुन रही है सुन ले ज़रा ये तुझसे क्या कह रही है आए नहीं जिनके दीवाने वक्त उलझा हुआ है तेरे यहाँ पे क्या वो कर थे यहाँ या तो पहले की है ये दास्तां आया तेरी याद उनको आया तेरी याद उनको Ibu ko, ibu ko, ibu ko,
Now, Swarnim Patil and Astitva will present a wonderful fusion of tabla and flute. Now, Saraswati Vandana, a mesmerizing dance presented by Pradeep and Sjc.
Saraswati, the goddess of knowledge, music, art, wisdom and nature, represents the free flow of wisdom and consciousness. Students of St. Joseph's College pay tribute to the goddess with a beautiful performance on Saraswati Vandana, Ma Saraswati Sharde.
Ah ladies and gentlemen, respected principal sir, dignitaries on the front row, faculty members, teachers of St. Joseph's College, and teachers who are coming from different schools to attend this important program, and leaders of tomorrow, dear students. It's a pleasure and an honor to be here. Pleasure to come to your alma mater when you have spent 10 years of your schooling, the golden era of your life. And not only that, but I also spent 2 more years in SIM as a table tennis coach when Brother Meadow was here. He invited me to coach the student. So SIM has been very special for me. And it's an honor to come here on a special day as a special guest. So thank you for inviting me, brother, and all the committee members and coordinators. Talking about my journey, already I think, it was a good introduction was given. I did my master's from DSB campus. I did my PhD also on forestry. And after that, I decided to work in the development sector. Because while I was doing my PhD, I realized that, lots of research is being done, but it remains in thesis or papers, research papers. But these kind of things never reach to the community, to the people. And that's why I started my career from Center for Development Studies here in Nainital. It was part of ATI, the academy that is based here, where all the IS and PCS are trained. And I work for the mountain people, for the mountain ecosystem. And after that, I decided to move to Delhi to work for different other organizations. A few were named here. Earthwatch Institute, which is a scientific institution which works on citizen science. And it works almost in more than 60 countries. And the way of doing research is through citizens, involving citizens, And after that, I worked for German Development Corporation, which is a development wing of the German ministry. We worked on different biodiversity projects and all. And all these things, they give you the exposure, they take you to all exotic places. And that's the beauty of development sector. And coming to this program, again, this is a hands-on experience, a simulation of United Nations. And thanks to the school for organizing these kind of events, because these kind of events will not only give you that exposure and to know about United Nations, but there are many other things that you learn. Communication skills, leadership skills, coordinations, and managing the entire event. And credit goes to the coordinators and the committee members. So congratulations for that. Now, coming to United Nations Development Program. You all know that there are different UN organizations. You must have heard about FAO, you must have heard about UNICEF, ILO, FAO, World Bank, and all these are organizations of the UN working for sustainable development. But when it comes to UNDP, we are the flag bearers of Sustainable Development Goals, the 17 sustainable goals that we have been hearing about. We work on all these 17 SDGs. Our headquarters is in New York. It was established in 1966. And we help the countries. We work in more than 170 countries. We develop policies, the global policies. But at the same time, we work with different countries and help them in developing their policies and integrate SDGs in their day-to-day planning and operation. We are providing support to different countries. Coming to India, we work very closely with Niti Aayog because Niti Aayog is the main agency that looks after the SDGs operations in India. Otherwise, we just hear about SDGs, but now each country have to, perform, monitor, and report SDGs. Now, India's rank is 121 in SDG, and I was surprised. 2 weeks back, there was a delegation from Bangladesh, and I was invited to give a session. And when I was doing my research, I found that the Bangladesh rank is better than India. They were almost 104, and they were doing better than us in SDG. But India, it's not only a country, it's like a continent itself. And to integrate these SDGs, it takes too much of financial resources, human resources, and that's where we need leaders like you to come to the development sector. In India, as I mentioned, we work very closely with Niti Aayog, but at the same time we work with different ministries. Ministry of Environment, Ministry of Housing, Ministry of Tribal Affairs, Ministry of Panchayati Raj, all these, the prime ministries. We work with them, we implement our projects, we get the UN funds, we get the international funds, but at the same time, the state model is different. I head the state operation of Uttarakhand, though UNDP's presence is throughout India, but we only have 5 offices in 5 states, and Uttarakhand is one of them. The state operation is quite different. We implement government's project, with their funds, and we provide the technical support to them. At present, we have developed and established their PNUs, the project management units, for the government and providing them technical support. And these PNUs are related to rural development, skill development, and also public policy. So all the policies for the states that are being framed are done by our experts who are sitting there. Apart from that, we work in tourism sector, we work on different rural projects. So all these different secretaries and departments, they approach us to provide these kind of technical support. And I would encourage you all, to consider development sector as one of your careers. I'm not forcing you, but think about these things, because many a times if you ask, it is according to the trend or what our parents tell us to do. But do what you're passionate about and think of making a change in the society or environment. All these 17 goals are the main problems that we humans are facing. It's not that the earth is facing, because if you ask people, you must have seen posters and all, save the earth. The earth will save itself. It is only one species that has destroyed this earth. It's we, the humans. If you eliminate humans from this earth, the earth will recover itself. And we have seen this during the COVID times. When we were locked inside for 2 years, the air quality improved. There were reports that from Punjab you can see the Himalayas as well. The water quality improved. The Ganges water was much pure because all the industries were shut down. People were not out to litter. Animals were moving very, safely on the roads and all, because we have been impacting the biodiversity. We call it a human-wildlife conflict, but the conflict is because of us. So we have to think from that perspective. We are thinking of our sustainability, not the sustainability of the earth. We have to decide for how many more centuries we have to be here on this planet. We think that we are the superior species on this earth, but one small virus during the COVID has told us who we are. We can be eliminated anytime. People talk about climate change. How does it impact us? Evidences of climate change are already visible, especially in the mountains. Apples. We know that apples were introduced by the Britishers in Ramgarh, but now in most part of the Ramgarh you won't find apple. Kullu Valley is known for apples. Apple doesn't grow there because there is rise in temperature. This time, the delayed monsoon, the 4 days of continuous rainfall, is again an indicator of climate change. But it is not only disasters, but there may be other viruses which must be, locked there for centuries, millions and millions of years, that may come out, and that may cause, more disaster than what COVID has caused. So we have to think, and we need leaders like you to come to this sector. This sector has everything, a scope for each and every sector that you can think of. Engineering, doctorate, agriculture, forestry, social sciences, geography, everything we need, all these things. Today we are doing a simulation of UN, but tomorrow you could be, part of these UN organizations, working for humanity, working, for environment and all. So all the very best, and enjoy your time over here. It's not a competition, it's learning from each other, and all the very best for this program and for your bright future. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. The Tandav Natyam is a divine dance performed by Hindu god Shiva, and students from classes 10, 11 and 12 will be recreating this dance in a spectacular manner. Now I would request our principal sir to please address the gathering.
Good morning. Good morning. Today is a very beautiful day. Those who have come from the plains, you are quite lucky to see the bright sun. The weather of Nainital keeps changing. Maybe in an hour's time, you may see the clouds. First of all, I want to welcome all of you here, our alumni, both of them, the one senior man, Sister Manjusha, and all the delegates of various schools. When our students and Mrs. Nagpal came to me and said, "Brother, we would like to organize Model United Nations," I said, it's quite late. In the hills, we close our academic year in another 30 days' time. We close school, we have begun our annual exam from 17th of November, and our boarders go home by 6th of December. But our students were so keen and enthusiastic, I couldn't say no. They worked very, very hard. So special thanks to Mrs. Nagpal, our college captain, also Secretary General, Sjc Adhikari, and all the team members. I want to congratulate them. Give them a big hand. My role in this is very minimum. They did everything. The reason is this, I wanted them to learn, okay? And I did pointed a few mistakes even today, but they are learning. Today there was a problem with the screen. I was telling them, let me see how they will handle the situation. Then they had that music. So it's very good. Model United Nations. I don't know much about it. Our boys and you are expert at it. But I've been very fortunate to go to Geneva. I had seen how it functions. I had been to Bangkok also with the child rights. So I have seen how it works. Today and tomorrow you have come here, it's a model. But I would like to see you for the fight for the rights of the children, the women and the underprivileged. I would like to see you representing India. Today you are representing various countries as delegates. But in future, as our chief guest said, I would like to see you representing India. Okay, fighting for human rights, children's rights, save the earth. As he said, 2 years in the lockdown, we saw a lot of changes in our school. You would never see a grass on our fields. Okay, for so many years. We saw grass here when the children were not here. We saw many birds. We saw many wild animals roaming around in Nainital. Okay? Our population is growing. We cannot help it. But we may be aware, can be aware. We make aware the other students and our teachers to save our earth. So I want to welcome you to Nainital, to St. Joseph's College. When they speak of St. Joseph's College, they always associate our school with that, which one? Koi Mil Gaya, the film that was shot. There are many films were shot here. And I would like you to enjoy. As I've said, this is organized by our children. You saw all the core committee members, our students of classes 9 to 12. They are organizing for the first time. We are quite new to the concept of Model United Nations. So please do bear with us. We want you to enjoy here. You can go around the school whenever you are free. We have a lovely eco park down there. We call it Sem Cliffs. We have a tunnel. We use recycled materials. Okay, you will see the planes. Those are from Halwan. You can see from top here to the cliffs, and you can wave to your parents. They may see. Just call them, they are not on the cliffs. So enjoy yourself. If you need anything, please do meet our teachers and our students. They are there to help you. We want you to enjoy. Thank you and God bless.
Thank you, brother. Now I invite the Secretary General, Sjc Mun, to open the conference.
Kofi Annan once rightly said, every new idea and initiative meets with resistance. We have to find the courage to take risks, even if it means to fail, if the goal is worthwhile. Warm greetings to our principal, Brother Hector Pinto, our chief guest, Dr. Pradeep Mehta, our alumni, Mr. Pal Ahuja, and Sister Manjusha, all the executive board members, all the teachers, and of course, our esteemed delegates. I, Sjc Mun, once again welcome you all to the maiden edition of Sjc Mun 2022. For the past 1 month, we have been working tirelessly to plan this conference. Seeing each one of you today, I am assured that the efforts we had put in the preparation of Sjc Mun was absolutely worth it. 12 years passed, and it sends a chill down my spine just when I think how beautifully and amazingly this institution has transformed me and kept up the values and ideals it's always stood for. And today, I finally stand over here as the first Secretary General of the first institutional MUN being hosted by St. Joseph's College, Nainital, in Nainital. Through today's conference, we aim to coherently researching and analyzing the social and economic paradigm that concerns global development aligned with the UN Sustainable Development Goals. Aid the participants to develop experience and, most importantly, public speaking. The UN and understanding the contours of the international relations and diplomacy. Over the past few years, the world has been scattered by many unfortunate events. We have witnessed a deadly pandemic,
that resulted in devastating loss of lives, natural calamities, and climate change affecting vulnerable populations worldwide, communal riots in our country, and a humanitarian crisis in the Russian and the Ukrainian conflict. The agendas of discussion in the committees of Sjc Mun deal with the crisis the human race is facing today. As it is rightly said, the objective of humanity is not in being human, but in being humane. So delegates, remember today, through this forum, we will unite. We will unite and work for a beautiful oath. Earth does not belong to man, man belongs to the earth. All things are connected, like the blood that unites us all. The man did not weave of life, he is merely a strand in it. Whatever he does to the web, he does to himself. As a student community, it is our responsibility to look towards the change, a change that our planet deserves. And our conference is an impetus for students to think like diplomats and global citizens and work for change. The agendas of Sjc Mun will create a deeper understanding of cultures and perspectives from one's own. The agenda for UNHRC is celebration upon the human rights abuses and violations in the Middle East with special emphasis on ethnic cleansing. For UNCSW, combating barriers to gender equality with special emphasis on political and economic opportunities. For AIPPM, rise of communalism in recent years with special emphasis on the Citizenship Amendment Act and the role of media. For UNGA DISEC, deliberation on threat to world peace and security in the Russian and the Ukrainian conflict. And finally, United Nations Development Program for our juniors, strategy for youth and adult literacy with special emphasis on Sustainable Development Goal number 4. We as delegates are not blindly optimistic, but pragmatically hopeful. To us, what's important to understand is what the world is as it is and finding out what it should be. And certainly after the deliberation upon these agendas, you will comprehend the very fact that you members of this conference are to be the architects of the better world. In your hands rests our future. Remember, the role of the United Nations is not policing, but awakening the heart centers of humanity. With firm faith in our hearts to sustain us along the hard road to victory, we will find our way to a secure peace, to the ultimate benefit for humanity. So, I urge you all to speak up, innovate, and listen more than you speak at Sjc Mun 2022. Challenge yourself and other delegates to test the limits of all that can be accomplished. I thank our chief guest, Dr. Pradeep Mehta, for enlightening us all today through his presence. I wish all the delegates best of luck for the conference ahead. With this, I, Sjc Mun, Secretary General of St. Joseph's College, Model United Nations 2022, declare this conference open. Thank you, and once again, all the best to all the esteemed delegates.
Kindly rise for the national anthem, followed by the UN anthem.
committee time because we're discussing something else right now. ठीक है? So wasting committee time not in my good books. ठीक है? But I still love the fact that you all are part of it.
Established way of doing things. Teachers are called by their first names. The emphasis is on problem solving, not memorization. In 1814, Denmark passed a law on universal primary education, granting children, irrespective of gender, the right to 7 years of education.
Adopted further legislation on gender quotas in state-owned companies and on compulsory maternity. A new bill on new flexible working arrangements for public and private sector employees have been tabled in Parliament. Additional financial resources to facilitate access of women-owned businesses to the banking system.
Here to discuss on the most burning issue, that is combating the barriers. And this, one of the most important problems that majority of the countries are facing is education. The education that is not
With other countries. Taking a fact about Hungarian taxpayers, so almost half Hungarian citizens currently are paying their taxes. And also, about 85% of Hungarian energy is from Russia. But during this war, not only Hungary, but many more countries are being affected.
At the start of the first-scale war in Ukraine, we urged Russia to turn transporting oil to the, but have taken actions to decrease the use of natural gas so that they wouldn't have to take help from Russia. So they're trying their best to reduce their help from Russia by taking.
People's Republic as it has been recognized by DPRK. Now putting it here that 96% of the people have already voted to be a part of Russia and not part of Ukraine. Then why are not unoccupied? Why don't you just not join it?
listen, please read this data as released by the next generation. How can you believe that
Going to expand further, but the eastward extension and joining of Ukraine is a threat to Russia's sovereignty, because Russia and the world cannot be in a bunch of troops.
To their religion. Can you repeat your last name, please? The illegal activities here means the activities that were happening before related to the change of the religion, about the Hindu girls and how they were forced to change their religion.
Okay. So like you are mentioning illegal again. Why it is illegal? Like, it is done against. Can you justify why it is illegal? Because anyone can.
It is with deep concern that we have been following what is happening in the conflict zone. I do not think that we have the right to lecture anyone in this situation, but yet we cannot ignore the negative consequences of the situations. Belarus is deeply concerned about the human tragedies. We hope that it is through the use of political and diplomatic mechanisms that the parties will be able to de-escalate the situation.
International law is same everywhere, unlike Sharia law, which is different in countries like Sharia law is different in Iran, and it is in a different position in Taliban or Afghanistan.
I have just 10 seconds if you haven't seen this report. I saw that many private schools, many public schools, many private schools do not provide vehicle facility, transport facility. So they have to come on their own transport, and that costs a lot of money, and it is insecure for them.
Yeah, but also for that.
So how many of you want to take an answer?
Okay, for the next question also, can we have it?
Yes.
Any other country is still in process?
High literacy rate, and they face lesser of these religious and cultural barriers. So what advice will the European countries provide to those Islamic countries which are currently going through this same problem of facing barriers related to religion, may it be cultural, traditional or anything? So on the agenda provided to a weaker portfolio. Delegate of Poland, followed by Germany, followed by.
They should make policies that could make children better.
बिल्कुल सही नहीं है. And also Muslims को
कहा गया था चिल्ड्रन ऑफ जिन्ना गो बैक टू पाकिस्तान एंड ऑल दैट, जो कि बिल्कुल गलत बात है। कहीं पे लिखा हुआ नहीं है, कहीं पे मुस्लिम्स। आपने ये तो कहा कि ठीक है चलो इन रिलीजन्स का है घर तो हम उनको वापस करें, उसमें हमें कोई दिक्कत नहीं है, आप लाओ बाकी के रिलीजन्स को, उनको परसिक्यूशन फील वहाँ पे फेस करना पड़ रहा है, बहुत गलत बात है, वो आ रहे हैं यहाँ पे ठीक है, वो उनका नेचुरल है। तो मुस्लिम्स का क्यों नहीं नेचुरल हुआ? ये मुस्लिम्स को क्यों नहीं बुलाया गया, मुस्लिम्स को क्यों नहीं इंक्लूड किया गया? और अगर ये रीजन दिया गया है कि सिर्फ रिलीजियस परसिक्यूशन हो रहा है तो मुस्लिम्स को भी हो रहा है। अहमदियाज इन पाकिस्तान, बलोच इन पाकिस्तान, they are also facing religious persecution. Then why are they?
Saudi Arabia is an exception, Dubai is an exception, but what are the others in you want to mention? Do you have any other states? Because this question is valid, I guess.
जिन्ना ने ऐसा क्यों कह दिया कि हम दलितों को नहीं जाने देंगे, पाकिस्तान में साफ सफाई कौन करेगा? दूसरी बात मैं आता हूँ सीए हम क्यों लेकर नागरिकता कानून, जो क्योंकि पाकिस्तान, अफगानिस्तान और बांग्लादेश तीनों ही इस्लामिक कंट्री और वहाँ इस्लाम उनका स्टेट रिलीजन है, और वहाँ से भी अगर हम
सवाल पूछते हैं कि मुस्लिम को क्यों नहीं लिया एक्ट में, तब सब एक ही चीज बोलते हैं कि वहाँ और इस्लामिक कंट्रीज भी हैं, और इस्लामिक कंट्रीज भी हैं। फिर आप ये बताएं कि भारतीय कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन के किस पार्ट में ये लिखा है कि भारत मुसलमानों का घर नहीं है और बाकी धर्मों का घर है? जब भारत अपने आप को सेक्युलर कंट्री कहता है तब वो क्यों मुसलमानों को अपनाने से हिचकिचाता है, घबराता है, और ऐसा डिस्क्रिमिनेशन क्यों करता है कि उन हिंदुओं को 5 साल और मुसलमानों को 11 साल में सिटीजनशिप मिलेगी, क्यों?
उससे पहले फूट के नारे लगाए जा रहे थे कि हर साल युवा को 2 करोड़ युवा को एम्प्लॉयमेंट दिया जाएगा। आप बाहर से कम लोगों को तो ला नहीं रहे हैं, कितने लोगों को ला रहे हैं? 5000 नहीं, आप लाएंगे बहुत मात्रा में लोगों को, उनको एम्प्लॉयमेंट कहाँ से देंगे? आप बात करते हैं तिब्बत के लोगों को जिनको एम्प्लॉयमेंट नहीं मिली, तो आप अपनी राज्य में क्यों नहीं दे रहे हैं?
हिंदुओं की संख्या 33% थी और बांग्लादेश में 30%। आज कितनी है? 3%। क्या कहाँ गए हो? धर्म परिवर्तन करा दिया जबरन, या फिर वो यहाँ आगे बचाने के लिए अपना धर्म, ठीक है? तो उनको अगर हम राइट्स नहीं दे,
but delegates, did the superior powers ever force you to go into military depth under them or just support them in the warfare or anything?
IP delegates for giving me the opportunity. So as in the the statement I have to give about the whole committee, that happened not only about my post, everything about every delegate and everyone had sent me a lot of chits regarding that your country is so lag behind in education and terrorists and everything. So me being the delegate of the Islamic Republic of Pakistan, I just want to share a small information that in GSL I had mentioned yesterday also, that every coin has 2 sides, the positive and negative. I know there are negative sides, but if you are only focusing on the negative sides of a country, so you cannot see anything. I am not saying that you will only look at the positive side, but at least make efforts that from the negative aspect you move to the positive aspect. There are many things that might have been wrong in front of you, but for that efforts are being made. Education of women is a problem in Pakistan. Thank you.
This is a statement that we are talking about.
Statements. I'd like to state something that USA said. So USA mentioned that the delegate of USA and have the decorum. A cop raping a woman does not represent the whole country. Well, is the person that represents their own country. So your cops are representing USA.
The hijab was mentioned and talked about, I would highly condemn such an argument happening in the committee where you are first of all propagating that it is the woman's choice to wear whatever she wants, to do whatever she does. And then when you second that, you have to come up with topics like hijab is a sign of oppression. How is it a sign of oppression? It is the woman's choice. The Quran does not oblige anybody to wear a hijab or to practice prayer or to do anything. Or to do anything that is forced upon a person. The Quran is, okay, yes, there are prohibitions mentioned in the Quran, but that is only 3% of what the Quran even mentions about the humans in general. The other
97% is about how to, how humanity should work.
Unmoderated caucus took place during session 2 in the United Nations Commission on the Status of Women. All the delegates enthusiastically took part in this informal debate, while some felt cornered and were left out. The Secretary General asked the delegates to involve all the delegates turned into a blunder. There were people standing on chairs and tables, shouting at the top of their voices. There was indiscipline and the decorum was completely destroyed. The delegate of Pakistan had a major role to play in this. Without taking permissions from the executive board being very lenient, did not bother her such activities. Not to be forgot all this, the executive board did not do anything to maintain order in the committee, nor was the delegate held accountable. The latter further misbehaved with the Secretary General. Due to this, the entire Secretariat was banned from entering the committee room in that very session. Even though the Secretariat cannot be forbidden from entering any committee. The press urges the Executive Board to be aware of the actions going on inside the committee and provide proper punishment to the mischief makers. The Executive Board should avoid being so lenient and rather focus on the committee they are allotted to. The discussion, rather than being fruitful, turned out to be a great mess just because of some people. Regards, journalists, UNCSW.
Of Afghanistan said that they are doing things for their own citizens of the country. So what democracy is Afghanistan referring to when they are still under the rule of the Taliban?
Your opening statements. Basically, the opening statement should be for 120 seconds for all the delegates. For the tabs, ma'am will be keeping a track of the time. There's one tab, 30 seconds left. Double tap, your time is over and you wrap up. Am I clear? Any questions before we start? Alright. So we don't need to establish the agenda or we don't need any motion.
If the true nature of insular status is to say that Taiwan is separate from the USA, why is that Taiwanese people now owe to USA elegies?
Pardon? Rephrase your question. You may repeat the question.
Okay, so I said that like it's somewhere in the mention according to the sites that if the true nature of insular status is to say that Taiwan is separate from the UN given by the Taiwanese government, why is it that the Taiwanese people now owe to the USA alliance?
You may answer the question. You can answer by chat as well.
The delegate of Taiwan would like to answer the delegate of USA.
The delegate of Pakistan that he has mentioned in his GSL that he believes in peace and diplomacy. How far you consider it as correct, as everyone know Kashmir invasion and your before statement that Kashmir has always been a part of Pakistan is very much irrelevant. So do not please see invalid questions over here. Make a point, make a statement and please explain your statement.
For India, Kashmir is land. For us, Kashmir is people. We believe that Kashmir will be the part of Pakistan by our efforts, by the diplomatic efforts. We do not support any terrorist organization. The people who intrude into Kashmir are actually the Kashmiris who live on the Pakistani sides or in the Indian side. They are the freedom fighters. You cannot say we support terrorists or we support violence. We are indeed on the side of peace.
Delegate of Taiwan, you have the floor for 120 seconds.
As quoted by Abraham Lincoln, by the people, for the people and to the people. That's basically what democracy is. Taiwan is a country having democracy in it. Free and fair elections are held every 4 years in Taiwan. Tsai Ing-wen is the current president of Taiwan, who is a woman, which proves that Taiwan does not promote gender inequality. The situation in Afghanistan is very catastrophic and toxic. The Islamist organization overthrew the Democratic Republic of Afghanistan. Afghanistan and Taiwan have few parallels, but Taipei can still draw some important lessons from the tragic fall of Kabul. Just like Afghanistan, Taiwan is under a constant threat. The PRC claims that sovereign nation of Taiwan. Afghanistan's condition will embolden Beijing to increase its already considerable diplomatic and military pressure on the island. American officials have always had the final determining role in every presidential election since 2001. In order to give a semblance of stability that have patched up differences at last minute and negotiated deals and essentially compromised. A key characteristic of democracy is the continuing responsiveness of the government of the preferences and demands of all its citizens, an element that is sadly missing in Afghanistan. Afghan politicians and international community are equally responsible for falling the people of Afghanistan.
Alright, so now so the delegate of Taiwan, were you trying to say that your national interests are before the given agenda? Is the delegation of Afghanistan trying to say that the Afghans are still under some kind of threat when Taliban is ruling right now? Because when US had left, it gives a clear path for Taliban to rule. So, are you trying to say that they are still under threat under the leadership of the Taliban?
Thank you, Chair, for this question. The delegate of Islamic Emirate of Afghanistan would like to tell that Afghanis are the people who are there from Afghanistan. They are aware of the problems and what are the basic needs and what are the basic problems that the people are facing. Someone from outside cannot come to their country and rule them properly. The Taliban which is there, which is ruling them, they are providing them with all the basic needs that are important for them. And the delegate of Islamic Emirate of Afghanistan strongly believes that Afghanistan has no, Afghanistan would like to say that as such there is no threat from Talibanis to the Afghanistani people. Thank you.
Okay, Taiwan has a question. Go ahead. Okay, Ukraine ask. Ukraine may ask a question now.
The delegate of Afghanistan said that
delegate, sorry to interrupt. Just one clarification from the side of executive board. The delegate of Afghanistan is not Ashraf Ghani's government, alright? They are the representatives of Taliban because they are the rulers. So keep this in mind before you ask the questions.
the delegate of Afghanistan claims that they are the native people and want to stabilize the region. But why are so many Afghanis fleeing Afghanistan? Afghanis fleeing Afghanistan in seek of better place. Why is that so? Why do we have to use guns to stabilize the region?
The delegate of Islamic Emirate of Afghanistan would firstly like to thank the delegate of Taiwan. Now I would like to clarify this, that the reason to leave a particular place is not only that you're being shot by a gun, that there are many reasons by which you can leave the place. It may be like the people from many countries. For example, it may be any country like India. The people of India also go to foreign countries in search of job or for some professional purposes. Or else the reason can be the climatic conditions. The climatic conditions do not suit to a person and they are leaving. But as we all know, there are two sides of a coin, right? Now it depends on you that you're seeing a positive side of it or you're seeing a negative side of it. Thank you so much.
You can take it back, sir. Delegate of Ukraine, you are now recognized. Delegates.
Now I would like to enlighten you with the Doha Agreement, if you have heard of one. Then there was one relations between US and Taliban policy too. US has always involved in every war as the US is taking care of world peace. You may know that we have the principle to believe in world peace very much firmly. No country came to talk about world peace and is questioning the country who is doing something in the place of nothing. We are not just holding hands and just seeing the humanity killing people, and the reason that we exempted our troops from Taliban was that this agreement itself, that they will negotiate on a point. So basically US has always supported and has always been a firm believer of democracy and peace.
Points very well noted, delegate. Please have your seat. Delegates, any points on the floor? Go ahead, China. Point of?
Information.
Go ahead. Any point of personal privilege? Inquiry, anyone? Alright, go ahead, China.
As the delegation of USA is preaching world peace right here, it happens to be questionable that how does your country manage to enter every civil riot for your own benefit and then exit without any prior notice.
Delegate, you may reply.
By the way, which country was this? Pardon?
China.
Okay, to the delegate of China, the delegate of USA would like to answer very much firmly that we are not just holding hand and just seeking the humanity, killing people. As I mentioned before, it's America's straightforward goal to believe in the principles of peace, sovereignty, and every kind of world friendship. That's why we have been a major part of NATO too. And we do believe that just a single invasion or any wrong act is very much invalid. So we do believe with the right, we do believe with the peace. That's why we stand for good and we stand for everyone. As we have bilateral relationship with many countries, many nations, US is a major leading power. So we hope we maintain the same, and we will.
Points noted, delegate. Alright, we won't be taking quick follow-ups right now. Delegate of Ukraine, point of information. Go ahead.
Why has USA been so ineffective in helping Afghanistan with its economic crisis?
To the answer of the delegate, we will just say that USA has believed in, as I mentioned before, it has just believed in peace, maintaining friendship, humanity, but there are some stance of the country for itself too, and we are part of a NATO, the NATO treaty, so we do believe that it will be very much unorganized if we just, vote for them on a very loose stance. So we just maintain our friendship. We just maintain our friendship with them. We support them with invasions. We support them in the areas which we can support. We do not believe we can support in every instance, but as we are firm believer of peace, so we go for that. Not the economical crisis, but we will improve that and hope in the future also USA will take stance for every right thing, as I mentioned itself before. Thank you.
Alright, delegate, points very well noted. One key to follow up, from the delegate of USA. So all the sanctions that United States of America has put on Taliban right now, not allowing them or not recognizing them internationally, so is USA planning to remove the sanctions that have been put on Afghanistan right now?
Okay, so basically we can't remove the sanctions as we have put the sanctions on them very much after thinking very much concernedly. The need of not only Afghanistan's peace or any country relation peace is important, but for the world peace too. If Afghanistan violates anything that is against the policies or against the firm recognition, then we have to put some sanctions.
Alright, can I have a plea to follow up? Right. So does world peace for USA, if that is the case for world peace, does that mean that you will let the millions of Afghans starve right now? Because the sanctions that USA has put on Taliban right now is not allowing them to monetarily work in the country. There's economic crisis and the Afghans are starving. So does that mean that you're going to let the Afghans starve and let the world hail the flag of peace and unity?
Okay, so basically we follow, as you might be knowing from the article, there is an illegal act for invasions and all the things that are happening, and the post-Taliban constitution was shaped by intense political competition over whose interests should be served. So Afghanistan should take some stance on our own itself also to provide its people with all the necessity. It's not always USA who will work for it. USA has put sanctions, as I agree to you, but that was necessary at an instance. It is not like that Afghanistan can't stand for itself if they want. They are also considering themselves as very much, settled country. So they should also do something for their own citizens. USA has its own citizens to work on, but Afghanistan should do the same.
Points well noted, delegate. Any other delegates? Any other points? Pakistan, Russia. Alright, Russia, Pakistan, go ahead.
America talks about human rights and democracy. What about what they did with the native Indians who were living in that area, particular area? So what would you say about that?
Delegate, can you rephrase the question? Which area to be specific?
The native Indians, I mean the natives of America, were actually wiped out of their own land, deprived of their own rights. So is it their democracy? Is it not like very hypocritical to say that we stand for democracy and human rights? On the other hand, we just kill the people.
Can you cite the year? Are you talking about red Indians?
No, I'm talking about the native Indians.
The year when did this happen?
It happened.
Alright, you may reply, Delegate.
I'm sorry, General, but I'm unable to, get the question. What he's trying to say?
Delegate, you can...
Via chat?
Via chat, alright.
Fine.
Also, delegates, we are not really entertaining questions via chats. However, when you want to repeat a question, you can use the chit system. Delegate of Afghanistan, go ahead with the POI.
The delegate of Islamic Emirate of Afghanistan would like to ask the delegate of USA that in your GSL you clearly mentioned that USA shakes hands with those who are maintaining peace. But delegate, please may I know that why your country realized it so late when the Afghanistani people, when the Afghanis needed you the most. At that time, why did you realize that now it's the time, to just think of peace and everything? I would like to know that why was this realization so late from your country's side? Thank you, delegate.
Thank you. Okay, I would like to answer it very much firmly. First of all, I do believe the question by Afghanistan, Afghanistan should honor that we are supporting them. So basically making a sense right now, just we are supporting them is just an invalid statement. And I would definitely like to say, yes, we realized it late, but we do realize. I don't think any Afghanistan has supported anyone very much more firmly. So please look after your stance. Thank you.
Thank you, delegates. The second speaker on the list is Delegate of Pakistan. You may start.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Honorable Chair and delegates, the delegation of Pakistan believes in peace rather than violence. From the year 1979 to 1989, Afghanistan has witnessed a huge rebellion for attaining freedom from USSR, and Pakistan gave its blood, land, and life and money for their freedom and well-being. For around 2 decades, the efforts of American military, the terror can't be controlled, but it has further intensified the situation. Taliban has overthrown the democracy and the freedom of people. In fact, the women are deprived from their basic rights. The women like Malala Yousafzai, who actually belong to the Pashtun community and indeed is a Pakistani girl, is an inspiration for Afghanistan. Pakistan believes in diplomacy to solve this everlasting conflict of Afghanistan. We have been a largest trading partner, and moreover, we have cultural and ethnic bonds with Afghanistan. And we are on the sides of the well-being of the people and brothers and sisters of Afghanistan. Thank you.
Points well noted, delegate. Any points on the floor? Delegates, are there any points on the floor? Also, delegate of Russia, you may also ask questions. Like, I think we're the only country who has not been recognized so far for POIs. Make sure you equally participate. Delegate of India, go ahead with the POI.
Okay. I don't know why Pakistan supports Taliban, because it was Pakistan's forces
Pakistan does not...
Delegate, you will not recognize. Let him complete the question.
It was Pakistan's forces and weapons that helped the Taliban capture Kabul.
Can you rephrase that?
Delegate, you may rephrase the question.
Okay. I want to say that why Pakistan forces and weapons are there and they help the Taliban to capture Kabul.
No, the allegations are false and we do not support Taliban in any sense. These are false allegations by India and we firmly reject that.
Alright, points well noted. Also, delegates, keep in mind, you will not speak unless and until the executive board recognizes. Delegate of Taiwan, go ahead.
How can Pakistan talk about the peace when in UN everyone was tensed about Russo-Ukrainian conflict and Pakistan was repeating the point of Kashmir?
Look, Kashmir is like the elephant in a room. Kashmir is an integral part of Pakistan and for that we have to take the voice of for that and we cannot imagine Pakistan without Kashmir. What are you saying? Yes, indeed, Russia and Ukraine matters for us, but more important is Kashmir. You cannot say that. Kashmiris have the right to choose delegation.
Points very well noted, delegate. You may rest your case now. Okay. No pleas to follow up. Delegate of Ukraine, you are recognized.
If Pakistan is such a peace giver, how is most terrorist attacks related to Pakistan terrorist organizations?
Pakistan is indeed facing terrorism, but you need to understand that everyone is not terrorist. The atrocities done by Indian side on the Kashmiris. So the youth who are victims are coming out in form of terrorists. They are not terrorists. Most of them are not terrorists. They are revolutionaries and they fight for the freedom of Kashmir.
Points very well noted, delegate. Delegate of USA, you are now recognized.
Can I?
Take the follow-ups will not be done. You can send your plea to follow-ups if you have been by chance.
Taiwan, being as you are the supporter of democracy, your democracy is not being worked for the people. Is it only for the documentation that you are a democrat country, or actually your country is doing some kind of work for the people?
You may answer the question by chat if you wish to. However, this question will not be marked as the question was not totally relevant with the topic, right? So delegates, make sure that all the questions you ask are related to the agenda, related to Afghanistan and not Taiwan.
The delegate of Taiwan would like to answer the delegate of Afghanistan via chat.
You may have your seat. Any other points, delegates? Alright. The next speaker on the floor is China. You may start.
History has seen the advance of democracy and fall of it. With the advent of what the Western world saw as a descent, it is notable to the delegation of Republic of China, which believes and upholds that this apparently new situation gives motive to the Islamic Emirates of Afghanistan to establish their beliefs as the natives are in power now. Communism supports equitable distribution of wealth and opportunities, and Republic of China is the standing example of that. While USA, a democracy, has much higher crime rates, 5 times more than that of China, a communist state. Democracy equals chaos, and the world's quoted, the leading democracies spend such a lot on their election and policies and do nothing but issue statements expressing concern. The delegation of Republic of China stands alongside Afghanistan as it advances towards its path of what it feels is correct.
Points well noted, delegate. Any questions on the floor? Points of information? You may go ahead, delegate of USA.
The delegate of USA would like to question the delegate of China that you mentioned in your GSL that USA is not a democratic country and whereas China is a communist. How far we all know that China is a dictatorship, and have you forgotten about your own president?
Apparently, I never said that USA is not a democracy. Let me rephrase that for you. I mentioned that you are the best example of democracy in the world with the world's least crime rates. The example of the propaganda the example of the agenda raised as Black Lives Matter, you kill people on basis of races, adoption laws, what are those? What democracy are you advertising there? It is questionable that the delegation of USA is questioning China, a well-established nation. I'll just state one line to end. Stability does not require advertisement.
Points well noted, delegate. Do you wish to take a plea to follow up? Go ahead.
The delegate of China, I clearly heard very well that you just criticized USA, and who do you think will question you if not USA? Do you think Russia will question you, who is a big crime itself, who is invading territories? What do you even believe to say? And let me complete please, as you just stated that China, how can USA question China or its democracy as it has war crimes? You are nowhere less. If we have war crimes, you have to. But that's a different thing that we support for peace in world, we support for people and power. But China is a clear example of dictatorship and terrorism to some extent.
First of all, there is a distinction between communism and communalism for your kind information. Next, referring to war crimes, as of 2021, USA spent $801 billion, more than 10% of its federal income on military. Is that how much your country requires for safety purposes? Where is the money going? It is definitely going to support terrorists. And talking about the relevant situation of Afghanistan, Afghanistan is not the first country where your respectable delegation has entered. North Korea and South Korea, the war of Korea, Iran and Iraq, Vietnam, all these countries are legitimate proofs that USA just tries to use other countries for their own purposes.
The delegate of USA would like to question China. Just saying out abruptly without a very much peaceful act is not relevant. As you said that we just, you just mentioned that we just have done criticism and war crimes on the behalf of the name of peace and democracy, then I do believe that China can't even have a cover-up for it, what they have done. And do you believe that at least what we do legally. We do it in the favor of the peace, but what has China done? For index, if I take the Russian-Ukraine war, China has almost the last one. Okay, for in instance for the Russian-Ukraine war, China has just illegally just has sent 53 turbines and has mentioned, no, we are not doing anything. Does it consist to your statements?
Okay, China, you won't be cross-questioning. Am I free to follow up with you?
Yes, please.
Like you said that US has also a crime rate. What about the Uyghur Muslims in your country?
Okay, regarding the Uyghur Muslims, we deny all these allegations and proper refugee camps have been built up, and do mention that there has to be a decorum even if it's for the refugee camps, because they can be a threat to our sovereignty.
Points well noted, delegate. You have your seat now. Next speaker on the list is delegate of Afghanistan.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In the name of God, the most merciful and compassionate, the delegate of Islamic Emirate of Afghanistan is in front of you, all the delegates, to represent the so many Afghanis which the Honorable USA left behind when they flee and left those Afghanis there. Now, USA will say that they are peace holders, but at last they realize it very late that they are joining hands with peace. So, I would like to tell you all the delegates present here that Afghanis
The Taliban has joined hands and they are working with the Red Crescent Society, which helps for uplifting the people of Afghanistan and are working to provide them with basic facilities. Now, some people will say, that where was the Talibani group before? They were there, they were present there, and who they are, I would just like to tell you all by one line. They are devout Muslims who fight for the rights of their very own people, and they are against the corrupt leaders. They are not against their own countrymen, they are against the corrupt leaders. Thank you so much.
Points well noted. Are there any questions on the floor? Points of information. Go ahead, USA.
The delegate of USA would like to question Pakistan that you just Afghanistan that you just criticized us on your GSL. Can Afghanistan just explain that how President Biden at least sent 800,000 Americans to serve in the Afghanistan, and that human cost of the war is estimatedly have killed more than 900,000 peoples, American peoples I'm talking about. USA has scored more than 7 out of 10 in making the 26th more democratic country. So just these statements by Afghanistan is considered invalid by us.
Thank you, the delegate of USA. To answer your question, I would not present so many facts. I would just say one thing, that where was your country? Where were your people when Afghanis needed you the most? At the time when they needed you the most, you just chose the option to flee. Then you're saying that you are the supporter of peace, you are the supporter of peace globally and stuff like that. But where were you when Afghanis needed you the most? I hope this will satisfy your query. Thank you.
We'll not entertain a plea to follow. Delegate a plea to follow from the executive board. So as the delegate of Afghanistan said that you flee, right? You evaded from...
This would definitely not have been possible without you, brother. We thank you so much. Now, let's get to the part you all have been waiting for. I humbly invite the Executive Board of United Nations General Assembly, Disarmament and International Security Council, the DISIC, Mr. Utkarsh Panchal, along with Mrs. Hitanshi, to please announce the awards.
Organizing this very event wherein we were invited, and I'm thankful to all the secretariat members, teachers and all the parents over here also who actually made their students to come over here. Okay, so from going on to the awards, we'll be going on in the order of verbal mentions, special mentions, high commendation and then best delegate. I request the verbal mentions to please stand on your places. So firstly, it's the delegate of Hungary. Second, it's the delegate of Russia. Now special mentions are in a particular order. I request you to please come on the stage. First, it's the delegate of USA. Next, we have the delegate of Poland. And the third special mention goes to the delegate of Netherlands.
Shubham Bhaiya and Vinayak Bhaiya, everyone over there. And thank you so much for having me here. I came right from Delhi and it was really a wonderful experience with all of you. So without wasting any further time, we have 2 high competitions in a specific order. High competition 2 goes to the delegate of India. Right. High competition 1 goes to the delegate of DPRK. I really liked the way she was speaking in the committee. She went throughout the flow, her confidence level, her way of presentation. It was absolutely perfect. Right, moving on to the best delegates. Are there any guesses? Alright, I am really bad at disappointing you guys. So Palestine, best delegate goes to the delegate of Palestine. Can we have a round of applause for Mukesh? Also, before leaving, I'd just like to say that ye yaad rakhna hamesha, start loving failures, because failures are something which lets you learn, and learning never ends in life. Thank you so much.
Following, we are having the Executive Board of United Nations Human Rights Council UNHRC to announce the award. Mr. Devi and Mrs. Raksha, please felicitate the delegates with the respective awards.
Greetings everyone. I thank each one of you, all the organizers, the faculty and the principal to have me here and have such an amazing conference. I congratulate you on the success of the conference. Apart from that, I wish all the very best to all the delegates present here for your future conferences, because once you enter into the debating circuit, you never leave it and keep winning. Not wasting much of the time, I'll directly move on the awards. For Human Rights Council, I'll be telling out the verbal mentions and special mentions, and I'll request Akshay to kindly tell out this high competition of the best delegate. Do we have to call the verbal mentions on the stage? Right. I request the verbal mentions to kindly stand on their seats. The verbal mention 3 goes to delegate of Sweden. The verbal mention 2 goes to delegate of Mexico. And the verbal mention 1 goes to delegate of Nepal. We have 3 special mentions in a particular order. The special mention 3 goes to delegate of United Kingdom. Your request to come on this. Iraq. Delegate of Belarus.
Good evening everyone. First of all, I'm very glad to be here and I'm very thankful to the Secretariat and to school authorities and a very big thank you to the Junior Senior Club too, our very own club. Moving forward with the awards, I'll be announcing the high commendation as well as the best delegate. In a particular order, high commendation 2 goes to the delegate of Iran. Accommodation 1 goes to delegate of UAE. Goes to the delegate of Italy.
Congratulations to all the winners, and lastly, can we have a round of applause for all the organizing committee members who worked tirelessly to pass the chips and in all the companies regardless of not in HRC. So thank you everyone.
Now coming to the most heated committee of St. Joseph's College Model United Nations, the United Nations Commission for the Status of Women.
I'd like to thank, first of all, the Secretariat for inviting us to this prestigious conference. I personally loved the agenda. I don't believe the world can go anywhere unless the elemental things like gender equality are taken care of. No amount of development means anything unless things like these are taken care of. Coming to my committee, I cannot even begin to tell you how impressed I was by the level of debate, by the and I'd like all of the delegates to say something to rise for a second. Everybody, delegates of CSW, yes, all of you have my heart. You outperformed yourself session after session, and you've been so great at taking instructions, so great at giving feedback, and I just want to say, no amount, no awards, none of these things matter. What matters is how much fun you had, how much learning all of you all went through, and how much productive our committee was. We ended up making 2 documentations. I've been in 3-day conferences where we couldn't even settle on 1 documentation, and in a committee full of first-timers, this is huge. I cannot even begin to tell you how impressed I am. You all have my heart. Thank you so much for being so cooperative. Now, my Honorable Vice Chair will be announcing the awards.
So we'll be going ahead with the same particular order.
awarded. So we have in total 7 awards. The first one will go ahead with the verbal mention. I would request the winner to please stand over there. It goes to the delegate of Syria. Moving ahead, we have 3 special mentions in a particular order. Special mention 3 goes to the delegate of Sweden. Please come on stage. Next special mention 2 goes to the delegate of Iran. The last special mention 1, goes to the delegate of Japan. By Tapan sir, but before that I would like to thank Shivam and ma'am because it was a lovely experience over here. This was my first ever conference in hill stations. I would also like to thank the whole secretariat and all the students who were helping the secretariat. We had 2 very amazing committee heads in our county who were there to help us at all the times. I think they are the most hardworking people in any MUN conference because both the days they are always on their toes. Whatever you need, they are always passing around the chips. Do we have them over here right now? Do we have both the raptures? Siddharth and Pranav.
The second high commendation goes to the delegate of South Sudan. The first high commendation goes to the delegate of South Africa. The difference in marks, I feel that I should mention this. The difference in the marks between the first high commendation and the best delegate was only 0.1. The best delegate goes to the delegate of Pakistan.
now the Executive Board of United Nations Development Programme, Mrs. Reva Bhagat and Mr. Siddharth Bhatia, to please announce the awards for the committee.
Greetings everyone. I'd like to start by, of course, thanking the entire Secretariat for having us here and organizing a brilliant conference. And definitely I'd like to thank the conference staff, the organizing committee in my room. I have never seen conference staff where as soon as I would get up, they would get up as well in anticipation of just helping me in any which way possible. That's just the sweetest conference staff I've ever met. So can we please have a round of applause for all the conference staff. Before I quickly announce the results, I would like to point out that the United Nations Development Programme was one committee which was filled with babies. It was filled with first-timers and they were genuinely babies. Everyone was, I think, around 10 to 14 years old at maximum. And I had a committee full of just children and they were brilliant. They were all so well researched. Not even a single delegate went without giving a single speech, and I think that's fabulous. So with that, I would now be announcing the verbal mention. We have 4 in no particular order. So the names I'm going to be taking now, you can stand where you're sitting and everyone can give them a huge round of applause. The first verbal mention goes to the delegate of Germany. The second verbal mention goes to the delegate of Chile. Great. The third verbal mention goes to the delegate of the United Kingdoms. And the fourth verbal mention goes to the delegate of Greece. Now, I would like to announce the delegates who won the special mention awards. These are in a particular sequence. So, special mention number 3 goes to the delegate of Venezuela. Delegate, would you please come on stage? The second special mention goes to the delegate of Indonesia. And the first special mention goes to the delegate of France. Now, before I let my vice chairperson announce the High Commendation Awards as well as the best delegate, I would also I'm really proud of the fact that a committee full of first-timers and kids so young not only passed a resolution but had 3 draft resolutions that were tabled to begin with, which is incredible. So, regardless of whether you won or not in UNDP, all of you should be extremely proud of yourselves and continue winning. You guys are definitely the people who can start being executive board members within the next 2 years, I'm telling you. So congratulations.
Before going away to the walls, I'd like to say that I'll miss the beautiful evenings, this fabulous campus and the warmth of the secretariat I got here. and I'll make sure that I come next year as well, maybe as a delegate, maybe as a chair. So, high commendation in particular order. High commendation 2 goes to the Amar Shunar Bangla delegate of Bangladesh. High commendation 1 goes to the Kingdom of Bhutan.
A huge round of applause, please.
And finally, the best delegate goes to the delegate of Turkey. This kid's maybe 12 or 13. So, a louder applause.
Now the much awaited All India Political Parties Meet AIPPN Awards will be distributed by Mr. Sjc Mun and Mr. Chakre. I humbly invite you to please announce the awards.
Very good evening, everyone. Just like our brother sir, I was also very keen on running to the campfire as soon as possible in this chilling weather. But I am obliged to tell you a little story about AIPPM. As soon as we ended with the committee, delegate had come up to me and said कि हमारे स्कूल में ना इस कमेटी को सब कोई भी घास नहीं दे रहा था. Which means that it is generally Indian committees in model unions are taken for granted. But the reason I'm sharing this small anecdote with you is the way all India political parties meet members perform in these 2 days. You have yourself proved the very existence of these committees in model UNs. A big kudos to all of you. Being a 99 or maybe a 99.9% first timer committee, I haven't seen more well-researched, well-prepared delegates before this. And a big shout out for this, I think, goes to the schools who have prepared the delegates very well, and especially the teams who have taken the training sessions. I would like to especially thank all the school and the secretariat and the whole team for having us here in the very chilly but yet very beautiful town of Nainital. This was an amazing conference, and this was for sure an experience I do not think I will be able to relive yet again, if not, or if in the next edition, as my friend Siddharth said. Coming on to the awards, I would be announcing the verbal mention. There was a small request if Mrityunjay, who was the organizing committee member in our AIPPM, is here. We would like to have you on stage because this committee wouldn't have been possible without you. Can we have a big round of applause for Mrityunjay? I would be announcing the verbal mention awards, and the other awards would be announced by my very worthy co-chair, and the best delegate I would like to be announced by Mrityunjay himself. The verbal mentions are in no particular order, and it goes to, please come up. Verbal mention award goes to each and every one delegate of All India Political Parties. We please stand on your places and have this respect of mine and the whole auditorium. This was amazing, guys. Thank you for this experience to each and every delegate. As I have told you earlier in the committee, there are no losers in AIPPM. There are only winners or learners going away from here today. I would now request my worthy co-chair to announce the other awards.
as he requests. The special mention awards are as follows. They are in a particular order. The special mention 1 award goes to Akbaruddin Owaisi. Special mention 2 goes to Mayawati. The special mention 3 award goes to Rajnath Singh.
For inviting me here, and my special thanks to Sjc, Chief Advisor of Sjc Mun for this edition, and my co-mates from UPS and UPS Nainital Club, and here, last but not the least, I couldn't do anything without Satvik. Satvik is my brother, and he was really helpful to me during this session, and cheers to this 2 days wonderful evening. So first of all, I'm going to declare HiCom result. In order, second rank goes to Sanjay Saraf. Please give a big round of applause. Rank 1, Asaduddin Owaisi. Opposition, at least support your and for announcing best delegate, I would like to call co-volunteer of our committee, Mrityunjay.
The best delegate goes to Supia Sule.
Once again everyone, and a big shout out to all my co-AB members, especially for making me and Siddharth a part of the UPS gang for 2 days.
Thank you so much.
Now, I would like to invite the Editor-in-Chief of International Press, Ms. Sjc Mun, and the IIT head to kindly come up to the stage and hand over the prizes.
Hi everyone. So in the international press we have the press delegate, photographer Sjc Mun. I request Sjc to come up.
Now I would like to invite the Secretary General to please announce the best school delegation.
Congratulations to all the winners and all the delegates who have participated. So the best school delegation award goes to St. Mary's Convent. I request the head delegate along with the team that was in the GA along with the teacher in charge. I request the teacher in charge, the head delegate, to kindly come up on the stage and the team of Sjc Mun to receive the award.
Deputy Secretary General to give the vote of thanks.
Good evening everybody present here. Delegates, it was a feeling of pride and pleasure for the Secretariat of St. Joseph's College Model United Nations 2022 to host this wonderful and informative conference. Branching out to 6 committees, the Sjc Mun 2022 witnessed an optimistic and enthralling debate. So much enthusiasm, and that too in a single such conference. I am thrilled. It's not possible for me to address every single one of you for your unforgettable and energetic efforts for making this conference so lively. Within a short time span of just 2 days, I express my gratitude towards our principal, Brother Hector Pinto, for allowing us to organize and manage this Model United Nations Conference. Thank you, brother. I also thank our teacher in charge, Mrs. Harsh Nagpal, along with our advisors, Mr. Shreya Nagpal, Ms. Shreya Sejwal, and Mr. Rajat Shah for their help. It wouldn't have been possible without you. I thank our teachers, Mr. Rakesh Bhatt for helping us with the coordination, Mrs. Champa Bisht and Mrs. Anubha Bisht for always being there for any type of help, and Ms. Aarti Shah for the wonderful ceremonial dances. I also thank Mr. Mangal for managing the meals of all the delegates and visitors, and Mr. Rathore for helping us out with the arrangements. Not to forget, the Secretariat of St. Joseph's College Model United Nations 2022. Our Secretary General Sjc Mun, our Director General Krishna Rastogi, the Deputy Director General Swapnil Pant, our Technical Advisor Vinayak Nath for managing the website and the brochures, our Head of Public Relations Maulik Sanwal, and the Charge Delegate Affairs Maulik Adhikari for managing the allotments. This conference wouldn't have been possible without your efforts. I personally thank all the members of the Secretariat for their innumerable efforts, since it's impossible to list them all together. Not to forget, this conference wouldn't have been so informative and thrilling without the presence of the Executive Board, Mr. Tapan Gaur, Mr. Yash Bhargava, Ms. Riva Bhagat, Mr. Siddharth Bhatia, Mr. Utkarsh Panchal, Ms. Hitanshi Arora, Mr. Shashwat Mishra, Mr. Satvik Nijon, Mr. Dilreep Thakur, and Mr. Saksham Sood. I appreciate the efforts of the volunteers who took the trouble to help us. I thank St. Mary's Convent College, Nainital, All Saints College, Nainital, Mohan Lal Shah Bal Vidya Mandir, Longview Public School, St. Xavier School, Aurum the Global School, Haldwani, and Columbus Public School, Rudrapur, along with all the teachers in charge who have accompanied them throughout the conference. Thank you once again. And last but the most important, I would like to thank all the delegates who joined us for this informative and amazing conference. You are the ones who brought life to this conference. I thank you all for sparing your valuable time and joining us for the very first edition of St. Joseph's College Model United Nations. Concludingly, I once again would like to thank any person who has been associated with this conference in any aspect. Thank you, everybody.
Invite the Secretary General of St. Joseph's College Model United Nations 2022 to please address the gathering.
Good evening to one and all present over here. Finally, after working tirelessly for 1 month, the first edition of St. Joseph's College Model United Nations 2022 will now be closed. Having participated in the discussions, we should remember there is no such thing as overnight success. It is a fallacy, a myth peddled in the world. I would like all of you to dwell today upon the closer and deeper understanding of the world issues, the process that will take us towards success, towards our goals. The process sometimes includes failure, not winning an award, but focusing on learning and improving. I hope that the 2-day Model UN Conference was a fruitful one and will remain in your memories. From the fascinating debates in the UNGA dissect to the heated discussions in UNHRC, to the astounding speeches in the UNCSW, to the fierce debates in AIPPM have been amazing. The delegates of UNDP have inspired us in many ways. Seeing such young diplomats discussing upon the topics like strategies to propagate equality by reducing the gender gap has surprised me. So give a big round of applause for yourselves. You should be proud of yourself right now. Delegates, remember, in a competition, there is always a winner, but no one is a loser. All of you are learners. So carry this experience along with you. Keep researching and analyzing and discussing international agendas and prepare yourselves not only for debates or MUNs, but to practically implement what you enunciate. I congratulate all the teachers, all the secretariat members, and the organizing committee for successfully organizing the first edition of this school's MUN. We will learn from our mistakes and make sure that the future conferences of our school we will be hosting in a better manner, and they will be super exciting. I thank all the teacher in charges, the head delegates, and all the participating schools, all the delegates who participated for participating in this conference, and especially our executive board. I express my sincere gratitude towards our principal, Brother Hector Pinto, and our board of advisors, and especially to Mr. Shrey Nagpal and Ms. Shreya Sejwal. Thank you for constantly helping us. Now finally, the moment comes. With this, I, the Secretary General of St. Joseph's College Model United Nations 2022, declare this conference closed.
Soup and pakoras. They'll play some music, you just dance whenever you want to go, you are allowed to leave if you get late. So again, thank you, I have to leave. So thank you very much. And there's a DJ is there, and enjoy yourself, okay? Thank you, God bless you, and good night. Yeah.
तेरा देकार तारू बदनाम करती तारे ना तेरा देकार ਜਦੋਂ ਤੱਕ ਲੈ ਸ਼ਰਾਬੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਤੇਰੇ ਪੈਰਾਂ ਚੋਂ ਪਹਿਲੇ ਤੋੜਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਬਸ ਚ ਨਹੀਂ ਨਾ ਹੁਣ ਮੇਰੇ ਬਿਨਾਂ ਡੰਡ ਖੋਲੇ ਕੁੜੀਏ ਬਿਨਾਂ ਡੰਡ ਖੋਲੇ ਕੁੜੀਏ
हेलो
Yeah. तेरी सुन सोड़ी ना कुड़ी तेरी संगली से बोला कर तेरी तरतड़ी ना कुड़ी ना छोरी भली मेरा जदी ना सच्ची